not all set. Yeah, what the hell?
I know. That's such a clerk from you.
I just gotta get to it. All right, call the meeting to order. Can I get a motion on the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Heath?
Okay, there's not much, has changed in financials. We still have, $13,460,000 in total cash on hand, of which $10,634,000 is FAD related. We have, filed the Form 990 and the New York Chart 500 have both been filed. I do not, on the minutes and the agenda, it said that, we would have the chart 500. I have not received it. The last copy I received still says draft on it, so I'm requesting a new copy so that it has been filed. And the way I know it's been filed, the state has already taken the $275 filing fee out of our. Yeah, make sure of that.
No. No.
We are up to date on almost everything. Keith is still working on the project accounting report. We received all of the 2024 O&M checks, which means the first round of checks will go out to the municipalities for those that have done work. And then once we receive the 2024 payment from Westchester, we'll reimburse the Westchester municipalities. And that's it.
So we'll also review the package for Melly, and get everything over to Westchester County as well and move that forward for everybody.
Okay. Kevin, you're up.
Okay, we are currently at the bid for construction administration services for Kenton B1000. I expect to award that in June, followed by the construction contracts in July, and then we'll undertake that project. It's expected to take us through the rest of the year and into 2026 for any stabilization issues through the winter. That'd be a great one to get off our back. Today we have a award for purchase, for fat fill inserts for Carmel AM 1000 at Marina Drive. As well as a change order for discussion for tree plantings in Yorktown at YMU 40. Again, no updates from the DEC regarding the years 11 through 15 project reports that were submitted the work plan. But I hope to hear something back soon. I'm continuing to add new projects to the possible list as towns are kindly offering up some options for us. We have a few new ones to look at in Somers, and I was down in Lewisboro yesterday as well. And we'll keep plugging away at those. So if anybody does have things as they're popping up, please continue to bring it to our attention. We still have funding to adjust the current work plan as needed and get the best projects out there.
Any update with the WordPress redesign?
Nothing at the moment. I'll hit them up again.
Who is this then? Is this the same guy? Is Woodcrest the Barry?
Yeah.
And he's doing nothing, or how long has this been going on?
The engineer did not give us the documents I requested. The changes I requested, so they have to go back and do it all.
But it's moving forward, right? I mean,
Yeah, and I have the pace that we're happy with. But,
who's the engineer?
Pittengarrow and Deutsch.
I don't know if it's the engineer or Barry.
It's
the engineer right now,
the engineer's not helping.
and then Barry will slow the process down a little bit more afterwards.
Barry has asked us to pay for legal fees and then engineering fees that he's going to take on in reviewing what we're proposing.
How
But
much can that be? I mean,
we're gonna try to point out to him how it is extremely minimal and it's not really. In an effort to get the job done, we're making so many positive changes to the property. Perhaps he doesn't need to bill us for $500, but we'll see how that conversation goes. Hopefully he'll be open to that.
although for the 500, who cares?
It'd been quicker for me to go to eminent domain and take it over.
Yeah, well, that's a different issue.
And that was all for the update. If we would like to move on to the change order.
That's good.
All right. The change order I have in front of you today is for tree plantings that we're looking to have done at YMU 40 Yorktown on Alex Mill. We had cleared out a substantial amount of forested area at the site location. It opened up the whole area pretty widely spread.
Is this the side of the hill there, or am I thinking of something else in Yorktown? Is it along Route 6 or whatever?
It's right along Route 35, 202, and right before you enter into the town.
Oh, there was that Biden,
Yeah, that's the one.
that's the one everybody wanted to live with, yeah.
Yeah, so this was partially funded by Army Corps of Engineers at the Build America Back Better sign, I believe it was. So we had to cut down a substantial amount of trees. And even at the time of beginning construction, the town reached out to us and asked us to replace the tree cover. I agreed, standing on site, that it's absolutely,
It's a nice one.
it's a worthwhile change order. It's a good project for us. We're in the process of cleaning it up.
So this is the whole thing with the,
Yes,
That
the
type of pine,
conservation
that type of
pines and
pine.
cedars. So what we have today, I do not have a price for the cedars. Currently, we do have a layout that we can utilize. Supervisor Williams brought up that he believes that red cedars would be a better choice on site.
I do.
And so we'll flush that out. What I'm asking today is that you simply just give me a not to exceed number that I can move forward with, and then bring it back
is
to,
36,000 a good not to exceed?
that is a high mark. So I feel as though that is a good not to exceed, and
So I'll make
we can come in lower than that.
So you want us to make this motion here that you have?
Yes,
Yeah, before you do that though, the trees are critical because it's right on 30. Yeah, it's gonna keep, it's gonna keep the stuff off the road, right? No, but I'm saying, putting them right on 202, they're gonna get inundated with salt. And you can't put something like a white pine there. So. I just lost all my boxwoods in town. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the buildings, because they just can't take the salt, they must put it, whatever it was.
So I understand what you're saying, but if we just approve it. With a not to exceed number for somebody to put some trees in, we're not.
Well, who's doing the work? We are or they are?
We
contractor, well,
But we're telling them what trees to put in.
exactly, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you know more about it than I do, you used to work for. I have somebody in town if you wanna ask him, but whatever.
We
makes
have a-
sense.
List from our CAB of salt tolerant trees and plants.
Are they right on the
That could
road?
even circulate.
The landscape architect for HDA Associates, I think it is.
It's like 25 feet off, 35.
So we pulled it back 25 feet technically out of the splash zone, but there still is that very much that
Mhm.
concern. Alternatively, doing white cedar, the concern might be deer coming through and having a great time on it. So it's 6 to 1, half dozen the other, which one?
Do you have a deer salt power line resistant?
Yeah. So at this point, I'm fine not going forward with white pines. But if we address it as a budget line item, and then I'll work with a contractor to make sure we're getting something that is salt tolerant, that.
It doesn't have to all be homogeneous, how many trees you putting in?
I think in this case it was 18, if I remember
They don't
right.
have to
And
be
then
the same tree.
if we switch over to cedars, they can be planted and should be planted tighter, so probably more. But the dollar value is not expected to change.
So it doesn't affect the resolution, but is there?
Listen, I don't have a problem approving red cedar. I have a problem approving anything else.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter, I mean, there are other salt tolerant plants.
If red cedar is
Do
the
you have a
answer, then
problem? I mean,
no, I just, in my perspective, I just wanna make sure we get something in there. The property owners nearby have been very, very patient and good to work with, but they're very vocal in asking for us to resolve this. And like I said,
Who's asking? people up on top of the hill when they look down, or?
No,
people
so
up-
it's as you're coming from, say, Somers,
Mhm.
coming into town, the.
First house on the left?
It's the
on
first
left?
house right there, they're getting blasted, I stood there myself. And I understand
That's,
there.
that's another important point, is they're generally shorter trees. They're not gonna be as subject to wind throw when they get big.
What's that, red cedar?
Red cedars.
Yeah, you know,
So we can,
get the right tree.
yeah, I'll move forward with the assumption that it'll be the red cedars. With the layout, get an updated cost, I'll share that with Fred Williams. And I'll agree to the budget and if that's okay with everybody.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the way it's written. And I think you two can talk. You're opinionated, I don't know, so.
The only thing is, I'd like to see something added in there about it's gonna be a salt tolerant tree such as red cedar.
Yep, okay. Oh, you want that added?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we wanna do? Whereas,
Well, if you want it to be a condition, it should be in the now therefore be a resolve. Cause a whereas is a binding,
yeah,
so you could say,
we're screening and landscaping, right in there, you stick it someplace there,
yeah.
using salt tolerant trees, right?
Preferably
Vegetation.
red cedar.
Okay,
I go down, East Branch Road, the guy put in a whole bunch of white cedar last year.
well, the deer.
They're all dead.
Wow, what a way.
Salt got them too.
Yeah, it's stuff.
So, what we're gonna do then on the last paragraph, now therefore be resolved, or it is hereby resolved. Right where it says for screening and landscaping, for YMU 40, we'll just say for screening and landscaping, using salt tolerant, vegetation, preferably red cedar. Okay, and then everything else for MU 40. Is that okay? So
Second,
I'll make a motion with that change, second.
all in favor?
Aye. Can somebody write that down, I guess? We'll put that in after that.
Yes, so next item is the for Carmel AM 1000. This project is at Marina Drive along Lake Mayapack in town of Carmel. The installation is to go into the Mayapack Library. We have already have an installation agreement on file with them. This project has been around for a bit, and we've had a lot of pieces that we were hoping would all come together and we do a multiple installation over a few properties, but at this point, I'm not confident the other properties will be able to move forward, and we'd just like to make sure we bank the credit, get a project wrapped up. So we'd like to move forward with the $5,247 purchase order for installation and installation of Fabco products. I believe there are 4 basins, if my memory serves correctly.
Does that include the purchase?
Yeah, it's every installation purchase on site. And this still lines up with the existing purchase order through Nassau County that we had made the determination.
Is that the 4.8 kilogram one, or is that another one? That was the one in,
Top of the list, so instead of 4.7, this will probably be closer to 1.5 to 2. Because the 4.7 would have been the full.
okay, so what's the total cost then?
$5,247.
Yeah,
Was that per basin or for everything?
correct.
Okay. So you want approval for that?
Yes, please.
And do we have a resolution here for that?
Nope.
Okay, so what's the project number?
Carmel AM 1000.
Oh, it's the same one, okay. So, resolved that the East Hudson Watershed Corporation Executive Board approves the expenditure of $5,247 and how much?
247.
47. For the Fabco basins for Carmel AM 1000. For additional, is it additional basins? Or they're none there already?
No, all the basins are there, right? It's just be.
Okay, so I kind of made that, but let me just, oh, those are,
We're inserting into bases that are existing.
I understand, but this one, so when I said Carmel AM 1000, that's the project?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're putting more in. Cause this is 4.7 kilograms. I'm just wondering, you said this is 1 point some odd kilograms.
So out of the 4.7 is not the full project, will no longer be the full project total. Because I
So-
believe we're only going to get this one small piece. So the 4.7 will drop to,
So then I think the resolution is good to wait.
Yeah.
So I'll make it, as I mentioned it before, did somebody write it down?
She's not recording it. It's recording.
yeah, it's recorded.
I know, oh, that's true.
It'll be in the minutes.
I'll second it.
As a.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go, and then no major news other than I think what Linda shared with us earlier, we'll look to wrap up all payments as best we could, share the package with Westchester County. And barring any hiccups, we should be on track to be able to reimburse all the Westchester towns with I would expect within the summer to early fall. This would mark I believe, the end of the Westchester County reimbursement funds. So all municipalities should keep that in mind. So they're planning for budgets for next calendar year. Probably be worth us to send a note out, maybe with the checks to go to Westchester this year, so they can make to remind everybody.
Any other business? Anybody wishes to bring up at this time?
I sent you a note, it's actually, I'm sorry, Ellen, did you want to?
No, fine. Not the reimbursement, so we'll have to do that later.
We can work on that.
Yeah.
Bill's Golf Club over in, it's actually in the southeast, and something like they're calling me up all the time.
Yeah.
Does the DOT have any MS4 requirements for phosphorus mitigation?
Yes,
They can give us some, so I copied the guy on that note, the water overflowed 121 again, remember they were complaining that well, it obviously has nothing to do with us, but the water overflowed and it kind of wipes some houses out again.
yeah,
And that entire area there is in need of some work, they didn't want to touch it because they're grandfathered, but they're destroying property at this point. So I don't,
Did DOT respond to you?
I don't remember if they had, I gotta go back and look. I may have said, they may have said we're sending off to somebody to look at, I'll go look, but I was just wondering if you saw that. Because that's in the, it's in the attached pad.
right,
So I don't know if we have money to spend on that, or at some point in time in the future, we will.
the issue, so to start, DOT for their MS4 requirements have to stay within their. So
How are they gonna do that?
that's been their problem. So I believe that's why the DEC issued a special speedies permit for them maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
To help them with limit, instead of the usual catalog of phosphorus reduction options, I think they changed it a little bit so that they can do more in-line items within their boundaries. So I don't believe the DOT is going to look at it as a way to get phosphorus credit on Vales Grove. But on top of that, Vales Grove needs to review their own drainage studies, because I remember very clearly that they installed a brick wall in front of the pipe that the DOT has, that comes down to that.
Well, that was the one, that was the one on the side, but what
Yeah.
precipitates this whole thing, again, this isn't even in my town. The Vales Golf Course drains over toward 121, pretty big golf course, I don't know how much of it, but a good portion. And there's a pretty big detention basin with a pipe on the bottom of it that goes down toward the lake. You get some brush or anything in front of that, that's the end.
Yeah, it's a,
It just builds up over the road, and it tries to go down the other basin, but you can't. It's just not enough, can't handle it, and it overlaps the road.
Hello.
So that whole area there, I mean, the area is huge. And I gotta believe, because they're putting fertilizer, they're putting everything else on the golf course, so I gotta believe it's
we actually,
That's
as part of the project that you guys ran within around Peach Lake for installation of storm filters.
Yeah,
we've
the
already
jellyfish,
taken credit. Yeah, we already have credit.
Yeah, but we don't have
Stuff
credit
is coming
for Vales, the whole Vales golf course dumping. Because what happens is that whole thing bypasses those machines that are bad ready, it just bypasses, they can't handle it.
So we can review, even if we did already take credit, or hypothetically say that it's still 60% of phosphorus reduction that's available. So it could be possible for a project to be done there. But I certainly am not interested in directing us towards Vales Grove again until they fix their own drainage. Because there, like I said, there is a brick wall in front of the pipe, stopping, causing the flood.
No, I don't think so. You're talking about the one on the right side of the road going up? You get right behind the home? That's not the problem. The problem is the pipe on the other side that gets blocked. But anyway,
Sure.
it's a body of water that's attached. We're always looking for projects and the Vales Grove Golf Course person did say they would allow us to do some work on their property.
We can look into working with the golf club, but
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm stepping
Once
forward.
burned,
I don't know that I'm stepping forward and helping the folks in Vales Grove. When I believe that they have a hand in flooding their own properties right now. But we can review all the circumstances around it.
anyone else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That was a quick one. Excellent checks, conditions.